Alrighty. So I was able to get Mrs. Ryda's bike riding, so I brought out the Suzuki GZ250, and since I got it running, I said, let's go for a ride. So what's going on, everybody? I'm out on the GZ250 today. This bike hasn't been ridden in a very long time, so I felt like she needed a little bit of street time. So I adjusted the shift lever. So I adjusted the shift lever on the GZ250 for Miss Ryda, and I don't like the way it's adjusted. She gotta go ride this thing to make sure that's a good fit for her, because I won't be on this bike often. The only reason I'm on it today is because I ordered some parts off of eBay instead of Amazon to fix my brake light switch that is in the control on the Harley, because I ended up breaking it when I put on my new levers, which that's another story. But I had to order a new switch, and eBay guaranteed it by a certain date, which of course I should have known better than ordering from eBay, because it's still not here. So I wanted to go for a ride, so I brought out the GZ250 since I got it running. But I'm gonna have to readjust this clutch. So while we're on the bike today, we might well go ahead and give my impressions on it, what I think about it, and you know, is it a good little bike or whatnot. So off the rip, I'm 6 feet, probably about I checked my weight the other day. I checked my weight, it's a lot better. So I'm 6 foot, 196 pounds. Oh, look at me. So the seating position is it's a little cramped up for me. My knees are bent a little bit more than I would like on a cruiser, but I mean, it's a small bike, it's 250. But as far as the ride of it, it's pretty comfortable as far as the ride. You know, it's all based off how you have the bike tuned. So, you know, you got your throttle control, which is right under the bottom. It's a little screw that you turn. If you adjust that, if you have it up too high, then, you know, you're going to be idling higher. It's your idle control. So on this bike, basically how you adjust the idle control, it helps control the ride a little bit, if that makes any sense whatsoever. I'm not a mechanic. Quick acceleration test? Yeah, let's do it. Woo! Look at us go! Okay, back to my thoughts on the bike. I just wanted to have a little fun right there. So you basically adjust idle screw, and it helps control the way the bike runs a lot. I think the idle screw on this bike has a lot to do with the way it runs. But the bike does not have a lot of power. It is what it is. It's like a bike for a beginner or someone just commuting back and forth, because it gets great gas mileage. It's not made for someone who's looking for any type of performance whatsoever. But like a smaller framed female or even a smaller framed guy, I feel like can actually enjoy this bike, you know? It's very light. It's easy to flick in the corners and throw it around and do whatever you want with it. And it's pretty reliable. Like, this bike has been sitting for over a year, and all I had to do to get it to crank up, which I'm sure the gas in this tank is pretty jacked up, but whatever. All I had to do to get, oh, what's going on over there? Rubberneck. All I had to do to get it to crank up was get a new battery, because she doesn't ride it, and the battery died, as it always does. The battery always dies on this thing because she rides it once a year. So every time she wants to ride it, I gotta buy a new battery and stick it in here. But this time I made her buy her own. But whatever, back to the story. All we had to do was throw a battery in it, and I was able to get it to crank up. Of course, I had to play with my choke and throttle to get it to go initially, because it hadn't been started in a while, but it cranked up. So I would say this is a pretty reliable bike, you know. As far as the look of the bike, it is what it is. It's basic. It's really basic bike, nothing spectacular, nothing amazing. But if you have it sitting in your garage and your main bike is down, you can hop on this thing and go for a ride. Now, as far as speed, that's based off your weight. On how fast it's going to go, what your top speed will be, it's all based off weight. But as you can see, I'm having no problems with it getting around town in standard traffic. Now, if I got on the freeway, because I did have to ride this thing home when she initially got it, if I get on the highway,
that's a different story.
Because when you're pushing like 70, 75, it's barely making it. It's struggling. But again, I weigh a lot more than the typical rider who would have this bike. But overall, it's not a bad bike. I'll do a full review of the pros and cons of this bike probably at a later date. I just wanted to come out and ride today, so I decided, hey, why not give my impressions on the bike? I've only ridden this bike maybe 5 times, so I can't give a full pros and cons of the bike. I have to take it out and ride it a little bit more to know what I like and what I don't like about it. But once I do that, I'll do a pro-con video. So one thing I will have to say about this bike is it does not have an aftermarket community whatsoever. It definitely needs an aftermarket community because they don't even have an exhaust. You can't even get an aftermarket exhaust for this bike, and I look at that as a huge downside because the bike is literally quiet. I'm talking crickets here. Like, it's too quiet, and I feel like a bike needs to make some noise because of its small, sleek profile. It needs to make a little bit of noise so people know you're in the vicinity, and there's no way to make this bike make some noise unless I cut the exhaust, which Mrs. Ryda didn't want me to do, even though I think I should. And I could throw a torque cone in there just to make it a little bit louder. Maybe I can talk her into it later, but as of now, it's not happening. But yeah, that's the only downside to owning a GZ250. There are no aftermarket parts. The only parts you could probably get is some different mirrors, some grips. You can cut some stuff off of this thing, but there's not a huge aftermarket community whatsoever. Now, I will have to say that these bikes are tremendously easy to work on. You can work on this bike by yourself. It's cake. It's cake to work on. Listen to me revving up. Can y'all even hear that? Probably can't. I can't, and I'm right here with it. First gear is really short, really short on this thing. I have to tell you that. I think I hit 15 and had to shift, but it's a 250. What do you expect? There's too much traffic out today. Oh, I forgot to tell you guys, I painted this lovely beauty myself. Maybe I should pull up here where there's some more light so you get a better look at her. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do that. Whoop. Wait, blinkers. I get confused because the Harley has blinkers on both sides. I always get confused when I go back to another bike. Let's take a look and hear how quiet it is. I'm gonna just park in the middle of this empty station. Come on. There we go. Put that kickstand down. So there it is. Painted by me. I do want to do a few, the blinker's still on, who cares? A few little things to it. It used to be silver, actually. She didn't like silver, so I matte blacked it. But look at the exhaust. Number one, the exhaust is ugly. Number two, it's too quiet. Can't even hear that thing. Sucks. I want to cut it. I want to cut it right here. Right there. Make it a shorty. But we'll see. Alright. I think I'm going to head in. I got a long ride ahead of me. About a whole entire 30 minutes to go. Alright, I'll see y'all later. Oh my god. That McDonald's smells amazing. That's sad. That's when you know the fat boy's hungry. If I'm finding that McDonald's smell amazing. If it's your first time by the channel, subscribe. Hit that bell notification so you'll be notified when I put up videos. Videos go up every Tuesday and Thursday at 10 a.m. This may be an extra video on occasions. I put up videos on Saturday and Sunday. It just depends on if I get out and ride and if I record or not. But, ooh, I shift into neutral. It happens. It happens. Like and comment below. And, yeah, I'll see y'all in the next one. Y'all stay safe. Your boy, Infinit Ryda. Going out and finish enjoying my little ride here, trying to burn out this bad gas, and my GoPro's gonna die. So I'll see y'all later. Peace. I think I see the police.
my speed, cause I really need to slow it down. Slow it down, down, down. Oh no, watch out, here come the road. And I can't feel with them no more. So I know I need to slow it down.